Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Right now at 5 o'clock on Sunrise, freeze warnings are in effect for 5 Central Florida counties as we wake up to temperatures in the 20s and 30s. My goodness. We begin with the live look outside at downtown Ocala, where right now it is 25 degrees. Marion County's freeze warning is in place for several hours until at least 9 o'clock this morning. We have team coverage with WESH 2 Spencer Tracy braving the bitter cold in Lake County, learning how farmers protect their crops. But we begin with first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Eric, you and I were just talking moments ago, and we said the freeze warnings are not even the worst of our worries.
No, I mean, these temperatures are just downright chilly. Take yesterday morning and remove about 4 or 5 degrees. It's colder than yesterday morning. So let's talk about these temperatures across Central Florida, shall we? We are waking up, as you mentioned, to the 20s. It's 25 degrees in Ocala, sitting at 30 in the Villages, 38 here in Claremont, and 32 in Wildwood, even along the shoreline. 34 in Palm Coast, 39 outside in Titusville and Melbourne. So, yes, very valid freeze warnings in effect, essentially for everybody north of the metro through 9 o'clock this morning. Then the sun should be able to turn things around, and we'll be doing much, much better. Our tower cam network is looking fantastic. It is clear, but it is cold, my friends. So for the first few hours, highlighted in red, letting you know this is absolutely cold air, bitter cold air. But when it turns around, it's going to be lovely. 59 degrees, our lunchtime temperature. 63, our high temperature. Florida finally starting to thaw out, both figuratively and quite literally. We'll talk much more about your Saturday forecast and even different weather looking ahead to your Sunday. Central Florida's most accurate in a couple minutes.
Eric, whenever we have freeze warnings like this and temperatures as low as in the 20s, it's suggested you, of course, protect people, pipes, pets, and plants. That's what farmers around Central Florida are trying to do right now. WESH 2 Spencer Tracy joins us live this morning from Southern Hill Farms in Claremont. Spencer, the farm had to cut back on days this week because of the weather and the number of available crops.
That's right. I mean, it is chilly out here. I never thought I'd be wearing a winter coat and gloves, but here we are in Florida in January. I'm with David Hill. He's the owner here of the farm. All right, well, coming up next, we'll talk a little bit about how the strawberries, how the sunflowers, we'll check in with them, so stay with us. We are covering Lake County. I'm live in Claremont. Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
All right, Spencer, you can find WESH 2 certified most accurate forecast 24/7 by going to WESH.com or downloading our free mobile app. Be sure to turn on those notifications so you can find out when a warm-up is on the way. At 5:05 this morning, a 5- and 10-year-old are dead this morning, and their mother is seriously hurt after they all got trapped in a fire inside of their Palm Bay condo. We first brought you this story yesterday on WESH 2 News at noon as breaking news. Crews responded to the Country Gardens condos on Sunnybrook Lane just before 1 o'clock yesterday morning. They say a 15-year-old in the house managed to escape safely and call 911.
I know that the teenage son, I was told he jumped out the window, and that's how he got out. So physically he's okay, but emotionally he is wrecked. Just a horrible circumstance.
Yeah, this is horrific. It's still unclear how the fire started. The state fire marshal is investigating that. Red Cross disaster team volunteers will provide emergency assistance to anyone affected. To Marion County, where the FDLE is leading the investigation into what happened before a state trooper shot and killed someone at HCA Hospital in Marion County. Ocala police say the suspect was in custody at the time, and they got into a fight before the shooting happened. No one else was hurt. Investigators did not ID the person killed, why they were in custody, or what led up to this fight. A Brevard County elementary principal and teacher are accused of putting children's lives in danger. Listen to this. Cocoa Beach police say the principal had a house party with alcohol and more than 100 underage kids. As WESH 2's Gail Pascal Brown tells us, investigators say one child was so drunk, fire rescue responded to treat them. Wow. It is 5:08 here in Orange County. A popular bar in Orlando's Ivanhoe Village neighborhood will close for good today after more than a decade. Owners of the Hammered Lamb say despite efforts to raise money and try to stay open, construction slowed down their business just too much. WESH 2's Tony Atkins looks at how this bar's story is inspiring change. Senator Smith says he hopes this proposed bill will have the support it needs by the time the regular legislative session begins in March. It is 5:11 on your Saturday morning. Today is a severe weather warning day because of this frigid air we're feeling. Let's bring in first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Eric, you've been digging through the data trying to see if this is the coldest air this season.
And for so many of our Central Florida sensors, the answer is yes. Orlando's dropped to 37.4. Coldest of the season was 38. But look at Ocala. You dropped to 24.8 degrees. It's the coldest air we've seen in more than 2 years, as a matter of fact. So yes, it is the coldest morning we have seen all season long. The good news is Futurecast showing a few clouds coming on in. But other than that, it's going to be bright sunshine, which means we rebound beautifully today. 59 by lunchtime, working into the 60s for daytime highs. It's going to be a gorgeous day. And if you like those temperatures, just wait until you see tomorrow. Central Florida's most accurate forecast ahead on WESH 2 News Sunrise.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Closets by Design.
Negotiations are underway about the undeveloped land at Orlando Sanford International Airport. Several years ago, the Sanford Airport Authority Board made it a priority to market hundreds of acres to companies with the goal of bringing jobs and tax dollars to this part of Seminole County. So far, 18 companies showed interest, and the authority narrowed it down to half a dozen.
Any good local economy, you do not want the residents to pay all the taxes. You want commercial, you want to be diversified.
How great would this be for Seminole County?
It would be absolutely fantastic to use that property to its maximum and best use, to create employment for the local community and create something that can actually expand the value of our airport as well.
The airport says the companies are interested in doing everything from aircraft maintenance to building hotels. County leaders haven't made a decision yet, but they say they're thrilled about the possibility of raising the value of the airport and the county. Over at SeaWorld Orlando, it's a special weekend just for the kids. The event held in Sesame Street Land includes Sesame Street parades and a meet and greet. Then, looking ahead to February 3rd, SeaWorld Orlando will celebrate Elmo's birthday. Both of these events are included with park admission.
If you've never heard that parade, it is so wonderfully catchy. Like I can hear it just while watching the video.
When you're driving past SeaWorld Orlando and the parade is going on, you can hear the music from that intersection.
Come on, everybody.
I love it.
Anyway.
If you're heading to the parks today, bundle up.
It is one of those mornings. You're going to see this icon on some of our graphics. It's just letting you know, I mean, this is, for Central Florida standards, bitter cold. Air temperatures out the door are in the 20s and 30s, and it is, in some cases, by far and away, the coldest morning we have seen this season. So let me take you up to Marion County and tap into some of our live temperatures. These update every 5 minutes. 24 degrees right now at the Ocala Airport. It is 23 in Reddick, 29 here in Bellevue, and a little milder when you get down toward Lake Weir. Why? Because the lake is radiating out some heat. In Seminole County, 33 here at Wekiva. It's 32 at the thermometer there in Altamont Springs, 30 degrees in Astor Farms. But notice you get on the other side here, it's 37 in Lake Mary, 40 degrees over at Winter Springs High School, and 39 at the Sanford Airport. 40 degrees over at Beach Safety. Right on beachside, you head inland a bit. It's 37 Daytona Beach International Airport, 36 Victoria Gardens. But notice from DeLand at 35 to more rural DeLeon Springs and Astor, we're in the 20s. So it really goes to show you just how different things are from location to location, right? Even along the Space Coast, it's 39 degrees in Melbourne. So it's a clear sky. As we heard in Spencer Tracy's report, once the winds go calm, those temperatures do drop very, very quickly and frost starts to form. The good news is later today, we're going to see a lot of sunshine, and with the wind shifting and giving a bit of an easterly kick, That's going to help to bring up the temperatures. 63 in Orlando today, 62 degrees in Apopka, 63 degrees back over to Winter Garden, 62 Lake Mary, upper 50s to lower 60s from Ormond Beach through Holly Hill, Daytona Beach. If you're heading out to the Rolex today, it's going to be a cool day for sure. May want to have that sunscreen on anyway, though, because there's a lot of sunshine. 61 Lake Pennsauken, 59 today in Reddick, about 62 in Leesburg, 64 in Vieira, and 62 degrees over at the Cape. So the 7-day forecast showing today highlighted in red because of this morning, okay? But once we get past 9 o'clock, that day goes back normal, and it's going to be just a beautiful day. For tomorrow, cool start. Look at that finish. 68 degrees our high temperature. And then we're into the 70s, my friends. This upcoming work week is looking absolutely wonderful. As a matter of fact, even beyond that, going into early February, our trend is back warmer, seasonal for Central Florida. Thank goodness. So this morning, about 37 in Orlando, but that roller coaster goes back up, and by Thursday afternoon, will be to 76. Why? Because high pressure is holding, and so all these fronts that try to sneak in kind of break down, don't have the chance to really break on in. So for us, next couple of days, the t-shirt and shorts weather returns. And listen, I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in here. I'm really ready for that. I'm out of cold weather clothes. Today's all I got. So enjoy the chill for those of you that like it, Christina, wink, wink. For the rest of us that live in Florida for a good reason, we got that coming too.
You know, I guess being born and raised here, you like a little chill in the air every now and then, a little bit.
Some like it hot.
Yeah, you know what? And some like it cold. At 5:20 this morning, I'll tell you, nearly a dozen cold-stressed turtles do not like it cold. They're being treated at the Volusia County Marine Science Center right now in Ponce Inlet. They were found stranded and weak from these cold temperatures. They'll be released back into their natural habitat as soon as they recover. Manatees are also trying to stay warm at Blue Springs State Park. This is the view from Chopper 2. Look at them. The park says they spotted more than 550 manatees yesterday. Though they say it's been a little difficult to keep count because of the windy conditions. 5:21 now, still ahead this morning on Sunrise, taking a piece of space history home. How a Florida couple says they managed to find parts of the Starship after it exploded during a test flight. Then later, a court hearing for the man accused of driving drunk, hitting and killing a 6-year-old elementary boy. What we're learning about his condition right after the crash from investigators.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News Sunrise starts now.
Right now at 5:30 on Sunrise, freeze warnings are in effect in Central Florida as we wake up to the coldest temperatures of the season. Here's a live look outside. Good morning, Marion County. You are feeling like 18 degrees if you're in Ocala. Orange, Lake, and Volusia, also really cold outside. We've got team coverage for you this morning with WESH 2 Spencer Tracy joining us live this morning, monitoring how farmers are protecting their crops. But let's begin with first warning meteorologist Eric Burrs, who is tracking these cold weather advisories. And Eric, the feels like temperatures are dangerous.
I muttered almost a groan when I saw this update. Ocala feels like 18 degrees right now with the wind chill, right? It feels like 28 in the villages, feels like 33 in the metro. Why? Because it's cold, but then look at the wind. About a 5-10 mile per hour breeze. That's enough to add just such a bite. So seriously, this morning is a cold one. Coldest air we have seen of the season. Feels like 18. Actual temperatures 24 in Marion County. It's actually 30 in the villages, 35 here in Palm Coast, 39 in Bithlo, and 39 degrees in Orlando. Freeze warnings in effect north of the metro through 9 a.m. So just letting you know, this is absolutely the kind of morning you need to be warned about, okay? All right, we're doing that. It's chilly, chilly here in downtown Ocala. There's good reason I don't see many people out. It's just too cold. But here's the beautiful part. Always like looking for that silver lining. When the sun comes up, it's going to be wonderful. And with a bit of an east turn on the winds, we'll get a little bit of a milder air mass. So highs today in the 50s and 60s. After that frigid, frosty start, we get back where we should be. And then for tomorrow, we get even warmer. Let's discuss your full weekend forecast. Plus, if you're heading to the Rolex, there's Aviation Day. There's so much going on around town today. We've got you covered. Central Florida's most accurate forecast in a couple of minutes.
Eric, with those freeze warnings in place for most of Central Florida, farmers are doing whatever they can to take care of their coveted crops. WESH 2's Spencer Tracy is live this morning at Southern Hill Farms in Claremont. Spencer, it is important to keep plants safe from the cold, but especially those strawberries.
I know. I mean, those strawberries are one of the main staples here at Southern Hills Farm. Now, one of the other thing is, I don't think a lot of people know is that, I mean, you guys are up early no matter what. All right, we'll be back. We're going to we'll change a new crop coming up at 6, so stay with us, and we're keeping these crops safe here at Southern Hills Farm. All right, I'm covering Lake County, live in Claremont. Spencer Tracy, WESH 2 News.
All right, Spencer, I think many people can relate to hating the cold. Thanks. At 5:34, you can download our WESH 2 News mobile app to track these freeze warnings and cold weather advisories in your neighborhood, and you'll definitely want to turn on those alerts so you can be the first to know when a warm-up is finally on the way. Right now at 5:34, Orange County Public Schools is supporting the family of one of its youngest students through a memorial fund. The 6-year-old from Lovell Elementary died in a suspected drunk driving crash in Apopka. A judge just ruled the man behind the wheel will stay in jail on no bond. Florida Highway Patrol says the 6-year-old was riding his bike when Francisco Areola drove through a stop sign on West Tahoe Street last weekend. These two Florida Highway Patrol corporals testified yesterday about what they saw.
Based on all of your observations up to that point, did you believe that the defendant was impaired by alcohol?
Yes, sir. Based off of my training and experience, he was under the influence at the time.
Court records show this is the 3rd time Ariel has been charged for a DUI within 10 years. In fact, he was out on probation on that charge. We also learned he is undocumented. WESH 2 Investigates continues to uncover more details in the nearly 50-year-old case against convicted murderer Tommy Ziegler. WESH 2's Greg Fox looks at newly filed evidence and speaks exclusively with Ziegler's cousin, who says he's innocent. We did reach out to Orange Osceola State Attorney Monique Worrell's office. They did not comment on this newly filed evidence. No hearing date has been set. 5:38 now. 3 Orlando police officers are out of a job and under criminal investigation after being accused of changing their time cards to try and steal money. OPD says the department supervisor found issues in the payroll as officers received extra duty payments. The Orlando Police Department says it is going over its time card policies and added some new technology to hopefully stop something like this from happening again. To our nation's capital now, where it was a close vote, but the Senate ended up confirming Pete Hegseth as the new United States Defense Secretary. This initial vote was split right down the middle, with 3 Republicans voting no. That tie-breaking vote came from Vice President J.D. Vance. It's the 2nd time in history a vice president broke a tie for a cabinet nominee. The State Department is freezing new funding for almost all U.S. foreign assistance. So this puts a stop to billions of dollars worth of projects around the world supporting health, education, development, and so much more. It comes after President Donald Trump signed an executive order suspending all foreign assistance programs for 90 days. This freeze makes exceptions for emergency food programs and military aid to Israel and Egypt. Back here at home, as President Trump's immigration crackdown continues, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office says it is dedicating deputies to help ICE in deporting undocumented immigrants. Sheriff Marco Lopez says Central Florida has more than 100,000 deportation warrants.
So that is very concerning, especially here in Central Florida. And I'm not saying that they all come here to break the law, but, you know, we got to remember that this country is of law. And if you're going to come here, you need to do it the right way.
Sheriff Lopez says deputies will handle cases with compassion. Earlier this week, the Department of Homeland Security said immigration agents can arrest anyone who was undocumented, even if they're in protected places like a house of worship, school, or hospital. At 5:40 on this severe weather warning day, let's bring in first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Temperatures out the door are bitterly cold, but I'm looking at this afternoon and I'm loving it.
It's a transition, right?
Yeah.
We go from like parkas, winter coats, to long sleeves, but you could almost go light long sleeves if you're more accustomed. I mean, I'll be in a jacket all day, but you know what I mean? Temperatures are climbing into the 60s today, but it is a frigid morning. As a matter of fact, it is the coldest morning we have seen yet this season, but there's a huge shift. This area of high pressure is going to continue moving to the east. That's a basic setup to give us a return flow off the ocean and help warm temperatures up. And you can already see the clouds kind of sneaking on in. So there's a really nice adjustment today. 59 lunchtime, 63 our high. Tomorrow we get to about 70, and just wait until you see where we go thereafter. Central Florida's certified most accurate forecast in just a couple of minutes.
All right, Eric, next on Sunrise, ready for liftoff. Another batch of Starlink satellites will head to orbit pretty soon when you can watch a Falcon 9 rocket take them to space from right here in Central Florida. Plus, an out-of-this-world souvenir for one Florida couple on vacation. How a woman says they got their hands on a piece of a Starship spacecraft.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Rubenstein Law. Injured, call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
WESH 2 and first warning weather, bringing you closer to Florida's historic Arctic blast.
For hours now, it has been coming down.
A team of meteorologists tracking winter conditions across the Sunshine State.
Close to 9 inches of snow, multiple snow records again for the state of Florida.
With live, up-to-the-minute information to keep you informed.
We have crews all across the state.
Because weather impacts your life. Trust WESH 2 first warning weather. Certified Central Florida's most accurate.
How cool is this? A South Florida couple says they found a piece of the SpaceX Starship rocket that exploded last week, and they got it while vacationing in Turks and Caicos. Joe Rhodes spoke to the woman who says she watched all of these pieces fall from the sky. So the couple says people tried to buy those pieces of the Starship when she posted about it on social media, but they say they want to keep them for now. They should keep them forever, but that's just my personal opinion. NASA is giving $24 million to 9 companies as part of the Artemis campaign. The companies will work to come up with innovative strategies and concepts to support life on the moon. The contracts aim to develop capabilities for long-term lunar exploration. And looking ahead on our Space Coast, SpaceX is getting ready to send another batch of Starlink satellites into orbit on Monday. The Falcon 9 rocket will carry the Starlink 12-7 mission. It's set to blast off from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. That launch window opens Monday afternoon at 2:21. All right, 5:47. Let's bring in first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. You got a busy day ahead at over in Seminole County, and Chopper 2 will be busy as well.
That's right. So today is the annual Aerospace and Aviation Day. It's at the Orlando Sanford International Airport. Seminole County students and their families are invited to come down. Think of it as like touch a truck, but airplane style. And the EAA Young Eagles will be giving rides. Last year, it was in the 70s and 80s on this weekend, so it's a little chillier. But as long as you're good to go, it's going to be fantastic. Event runs from 9 a.m. until 2 o'clock. I'll be emceeing and interviewing all kinds of fascinating people from NASA to Blue Origin and even airline pilots. So a lot of really great stuff. And other than a chilly forecast, we'll be good to go. Temperatures out the door, look at how different it is. 34 here in Apopka, 33 in Rock Springs, 40 downtown Orlando, 39 over at Orlando International Airport, 40s on the barrier island here of Brevard. You get inland, 39 in Melbourne International, 37 in, say, Melbourne, 39 here, Lake Louisa State Park, 28 in Lady Lake. It's 36 degrees in Leesburg and 24 our current temperature in Ocala. And you factor in the winds, feels like 18 in Ocala. There's enough of a breeze to really add a bite. So have your jackets, your park. This is the morning to have the thickest coat you've got in the arsenal ready to go. And when we compare temperatures around Central Florida, this is our lows so far. This is so far this season's lows. So most of our reporting stations are colder than they've been all season long, except for Daytona Beach in Sanford, it looks like. Everybody else is the coldest. So it's definitely chilly. Downtown Orlando, clear skies overhead. Forecast for us today looking fantastic. Up to 59 lunchtime, 63 degrees will be our our high temperature in Orlando. 62 today in Leesburg, about 60 in Ocala, upper 50s to the lower and mid 60s along the shoreline. Still well below the average high of 72, but at least we're doing better. And that's also good because Rolex 24 weekend is here, right? So it's going to be nice and sunny. Today's going to be the chillier day of the Rolex. By tomorrow, we'll be in the lower 60s, working our way into the upper 60s. And if we look at the month of January, our high temperature has averaged out this year to be 64.7, which makes it the 7th coldest January on record. It's the coldest since 2010, which had 64.2 as the average. And that year was the 4th coldest on record. But changes are coming. Our area of high pressure today kind of shifting around. It's going to give us more of a direct easterly wind come tomorrow. And what that does is that helps to usher in warmer air. Oh, thank heaven for that, right? 7-day forecast showing a beautiful adjustment. 63 today. It's highlighted in red because of this morning. Once we get past 9 o'clock, that alert is done and over with. For our Sunday, 68 the high, 71 on Monday, and then into the mid 70s by midweek. Hey, listen, our high temperature last week was 47, okay? We're going to be bottoming out at 55 by Thursday. That is quite a turnaround.
Yes, it is. It is 5:51, still ahead this morning on Sunrise. Some terrifying moments for a Central Florida family when a 61-year-old man had a heart attack, but the quick actions by another family member saved his life.
As you're doing the CPR, what are you thinking?
I was telling myself that, like, not today.
I know that's right. How Seminole County honored this son-in-law as a hero.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.
A Central Florida man is being called a hero for saving his father-in-law's life. WESH 2's Michelle Meredith was there as Seminole County saluted the man who kept his loved one alive. What a story. Well done, Mason. It is 5:56, ahead at 6 o'clock here on Sunrise. It is a severe weather warning day. Temperatures are feeling like the 20s in parts of Central Florida. Plus, we're talking about protecting those plants from the cold. WESH 2's Spencer Tracy shows us how one Central Florida farm is keeping their coveted crops safe.